Hello, welcome back to Coffee Talk. All right, so today I'm sipping on some delicious brew from Praxis Coffee in Austin. I gotta tell you guys, Austin's coffee game is on point. Coffee, margaritas, both delicious. I don't know, I really don't, I mean, the coffee is really just so good everywhere I went. I don't know what they're doing with those beans, but I'm here for it. And it got me thinking, okay, where have you had the most delicious cup of coffee of your life? Right? Like just that first sip is, you're like, oh my God, this is like heaven. Or you're like, oh, this is what coffee should be, right? Let me know, because I want to take Coffee Talk on the road, whether it's a diner or a coffee shop. I'd love to hit up, as I travel, as many fabulous places as I can, and sit down and talk with some coffee. So yeah, would love to even have you join me for a little coffee talk, right? I would love that. Okay, so last week we talked about getting into right relationship with food, right? And how we interact with it, and how what we eat can either nourish or numb us. Yeah? So today we're going to shift gears, but stay kind of in that same neighborhood and talk about nourishing the mind, right? Fun fact, did you know that when we learn new things or new skills, our brains release dopamine? That's the happy stuff. And it's not just when we succeed, like when we ace a test or fully figure something out. No, it's along the process. So the more we can, carve out time for learning, the more yes, thank you, feel goods we start to accrue in life, right? So learning is really a key ingredient in feeling lit up. And what research is also showing us is that the very sedentary lifestyle that has crept into so many of our lives actually can hamper our memory and our processing speed and our mental sharpness, right? And so, while you might be working and doing, that doesn't mean that you're learning. It's actually, most likely hindering the learning and the expansion, because we're in that constant state of doing and sitting. So it really becomes important for us to carve out the time for ourselves, right? And there could definitely be some frustration with learning new things. I taught kids for many years in the dance studio, and there were so many times when, teaching a new step, there would be a frustration, and you would ask, like, what's wrong? I'm not getting it. Well, you've only tried it twice. So let's keep going. But it's so honest, right? I mean, even adults do that. I didn't get it. Oh, I'm not perfect at it yet. I'm not good at it yet. We forget that learning is this trajectory. But in that moment, it's so easy to compare, right? Because we see someone else getting it, but we don't know how long that child's been dancing. Also, just some people are born with natural rhythm, right? And this is very dancing specific, but I think you get it. By comparison, what is that expression? That comparison is the thief of joy. We really just we not only rob ourselves, but we also rob the other person, right? Because by comparing our chapter 1 to their chapter 15, we're putting judgment on, that other person that they don't deserve. And, they've worked, if they're kind of X amount of years into something, they deserve to, they've earned that kind of being better, right? And this is where social media can get all sorts of trickery. This is a reframe that really helped me. It's quite simple. And it's learning doesn't have to be about anything else other than learning. You don't have to learn to become an expert at something. Just being curious and learning just for the sake of learning is a-okay. Leaning into that curiosity, right? Especially if you get that little voice like, oh, I'm interested in that. I want to learn. Just go with it. Just go with it. Your brain literally thanks you for it every time. Every time it is that dopamine hit. And then it's also exciting when you're learning something new, right? You get to go tell people about it. It just is, it's energizing you. And who doesn't want more energy? I mean, I'm energy. Let's bring it. But, and this is a big but, if you are trying to learn through social media, like rapid fire media clips, not the same thing. So in that moment, your brain's reward system is being hijacked. So that dopamine, it's not the same. And you're kind of getting like shallow integration learning. So think of it as like you're having a handful of popcorn instead of a meal, right? Not the same. Learning requires space and pausing. And it's like in the moments when we're just existing, maybe out in nature, maybe even going for a walk, in the shower, that's when, kind of integration happens. It's when our brain hits the save button, is when we are creating space for ourselves, not when we're in the constant state of doing. It's actually called memory consolidation. And it's like I said, your brain hitting the save button. So those I mean, I don't know about you, but I get major creativity in the shower. I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. I also get it in the car. I'll get things on walks, but my most creative kind of drop-ins, connective time is in the mornings. I get so much. That stillness that I have, carved out for myself is just so yummy, and I just get so much from it. And one strategy that I've added to my mornings comes from a program that I'm in right now called Life by Design. It's by Preston Smiles and Alexi Panos. So good. Go check it out. And it's called Focus Training. And it's just 10 minutes a day of intentional learning. That's it, right? You're not trying to multitask. You're not scrolling through it. It's 10 minutes. So you can read, you can listen to a podcast, you can do some internet searching, but it's focused. And what I did is I read a book called Waking the Tiger. It's by Peter Levine, and it's all about trauma. And great book, by the way. I think it should be required reading for everybody, quite frankly. But I was really blown away by, number one, I finished the book, and each day that I just did the 10 minutes and I, had some space after and throughout the day, I really did retain so much more that I read. And because I coach full time and then also have my own practice, it allowed me to integrate it in small little bits as I, continue to work with people. And something that I do that's very similar with clients is this idea of building micro breaks, right? So 10 minutes, a couple times a day, whether it's for movement, whether it's for learning. And what you do is you anchor this new thing that you want to do to an existing habit that you do without even thinking. So it's your anchor. If you've ever read Atomic Habits or Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg, this is very similar. This is the thing. So you have your anchor, the thing that you're doing without even, you're just subconscious, like this is happening every single day. So brushing your teeth, making your coffee, walking the dog, that's your anchor. And then you attach the new habit to that, right? So every time I brush my teeth, every time I brush my teeth, I will sit down for 10 minutes in this chair to read XYZ. And after you do it, this is the really important part, you celebrate. You say, good job, give yourself a high five, throw your arms up, raise the roof a little bit, because that celebration is a way that your brain says, I did something good. Learning is good. Learning is fun. I like to learn. Let's do that again, right? So it's that reward system at the end that can really, really make a difference. So I highly encourage anyone out there that is wanting to learn more, but you're like, I don't have the time. Try this out. It's just 10 minutes a day, right? And like we've been talking about, it's energy. It's energy. Learning gives us energy. Learning is good for our brains. It's, those feel good dopamine hits. We all like them. And, just think about it, right? And like I said, it doesn't have to be for anything other than just learning. But even while you're doing it, right, for 30 days, maybe you're going to the office and you're, sharing what you're learning with somebody there, and they get inspired and they're like, what are you doing? I want to do this. I want to learn about something new. That's the stuff right there, right? So as we wrap up today, I do have two questions that are, good for reflection on your relationship with learning, right? Because it's all about getting into right relationship with all the things. So one, do you allow yourself space to explore and integrate and learn and be a beginner again? Or are you stuck in busy and consuming and really stop to absorb anything new? And what tends to get in the way of you learning something new? Not just in schedules, but up here. Is there anything that comes up? Is it perfectionism? Is it fear of not knowing enough? Is it fear of looking stupid? Is it fear of not being good? Is it fear of I will be less productive if I spend time doing, learning something over there? Right? No right, no wrong, just curiosity to start really just kind of digging in and just peeking under some rocks to get to know ourselves better. And next week, we're going to dive into soul nourishment. So nourishment for our soul and what that could look like. And before I go, if any of this has resonated with you, I just want to invite you to the L.O.V.E print. It's kicking off on August 6th. It's a 5-week coaching experience, and it's for any woman who is just looking for more, right? More from life, more feel-goods, more radiance, more like, fuck yes, because you might be feeling just stuck in the daily routine of life. And it's become a little lustless. Is that a word? I think so. Just become dull, and you're looking for more. And each week, go through one of our core pillars. So listen, all about tapping back into our intuition. Offer, all about offering what we're doing right now, offering our spouse self the space for nourishment, for movement, for play, for pleasure. Getting really clear on our values, so valuing our values. And maybe the values that you have today are not the values you had 10 years ago. And maybe it's just time to sit down and have that conversation with yourself. and express. Expression will also be about how we are expressing ourselves, right? So how are we communicating our needs? Are we communicating them clearly, right? Are we shrinking? Are we standing tall? Are we like, here I am, right? All the things. So it's like your permission slip to pause, to reset and reconnect with you now. Not the you of 20 years ago, the you now. We're talking nervous system, we're talking hormonal health, we're talking nourishment, movement, food, everything all wrapped into one just beautiful container. And it's only 10 people are in, that's it. I like to keep things intimate so that everyone can get to know one another and just feel really good. So head over to www. I did that again. We don't need to say that anymore. Lifeincolor.online to learn more. Until next time, take care of you.